that day, so I'll definitely be here. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I wanted to come and talk to y'all today just about a little bit about how I got started. But before I did all that, we have to go back about how it just all happened. How did this crazy life happen for me? One of my earliest memories was I got hit by my dad. My mom had me on her hip. My dad was in a rage, and in one of his toxic rages, he did a lot of drugs, drank a lot, and he went to punch my mom, and I got the butt into that. That was one of my earliest memories. Next memory after that was my cousin molesting me. From there on, life was not pretty. It was very, very rough. I went through molestations from my cousin, a boyfriend from my mom, and then my youngest sister, Brianna, hurt her father, actually. And for that one, we actually went to court for it. It was a difficult time for me. I was 11 years old, and it was because I've already went through the cases in the past with my cousin. I felt like it was going to be a slap on the hand, and that was going to be it. And I tried everything to talk about it, for somebody to help me, and there was nobody there. And so finally, there was this teacher, Mr. Clover, and he was I can't remember what grade I was in. I was in intermediate, I believe, and I was in linear. So I guess about 5th or 6th grade. He was my math teacher, and Mr. Clover, he was tough. He would have you stand out and put books on your arms, or if you're talking in class, he would have you put your nose on the chalkboard. I don't know if y'all ever had to put your nose on the chalkboard, but it will start running because it was really embarrassing. And he was really tough. If you chewed gum, you'd have to put it on your nose for the rest of the class. But he saw something because it kept acting out. So he took me outside in the hall. He said, "What is going on at home? What is happening? Are you getting hurt? Is somebody abusing you?" And I just shook my head yes. And he said, "Is it physical abuse or sexual abuse?" He says, "Is it sexual?" And I shook my head yes. And he was so upset with himself because we had been at a tiff for a couple of months because of my behavior. And he was upset because he didn't recognize it sooner. After that day, things changed. It started happening. Counselors came. The cops were there. My whole life just ended up turning inside out, but in a good way. So my sister's father, he had to leave the house. And he had to go through court cases, and he ended up getting 10 years probation. He's actually dead now. He no longer lives. He died, I want to say, back in December in Mexico. But I held on to that for a long time. That hurt me. It hurt me that growing up, I was so abused and nobody saw it. Nobody cared. I just felt like I was just a garbage on the side of the street. Nobody cared about me. Why was I here, And so I held that with me for a very long time. And growing up in high school, I wanted attention, right? And I thought, well, maybe if I sleep around, I'll get attention. Oh, I did, but not the attention that I wanted. It was the bad kind of attention, the attention that you don't want, the kind that hurts your reputation. So then from there, I was really, really hard in my studies. I wanted to go to college, and I applied for Duke University, and I got into Duke University. But financially, I did not get into Duke University because we could not afford for me to go. So I said, you know what, I'll take a year off. And during that year, I got pregnant with my son now. He's going to be 17 in May. Sammy. He's amazing. He's the best thing that ever happened to me, and he saved my life more times than I can count. He's a wonderful child. But I was talking to him about college the other day, and I told him, I said, Sam, don't take a year off. He says, why not? What happened to you? I said, I got pregnant. I said, and I don't regret it, and I wouldn't change it. I said, but I wouldn't choose the same life for you. I want you to do better than me. He says, okay, Mom. And raising Sammy, his dad and I, we had split up around the time he was 5 years old. And I had kind of went in and out of relationships. And during these relationships, there was a lot of drinking involved. There was also drugs involved. It was a very tough time. No, come in, join us. Come in and join us. How are you? Good morning. You look beautiful.
Hello. How are you?
So there was the drinking, there was the relationship after relationship, and let's try dating apps, and I just want to be with someone, that urge that I feel like it's in our nature to just want to have a companion in life, and I felt like that was never going to happen for me. And I turned a lot to drinking, I turned a lot to drugs, and whenever I had met Daniel, 2015, changed my life. And I thought, this is the one. This is the guy who I'm going to be with forever. Well, I got pregnant, and I was super excited because I didn't know if I was going to have any more babies. And my son was already 10 years old. Shortly after, I told everybody, of course, and about a week after I had a miscarriage. Turns out I had a miscarriage due to hyperthyroidism because my thyroid was really upset. And the doctor told me, you don't have to worry about ever having children because you'll just never get pregnant again. It just won't ever happen for you. So, Daniela, I just saw you there, sister. And I said, okay, well, that sucks. And sure enough, because I was going through all of that, oh, by the way, I broke my foot. So had a miscarriage, broke my foot, found out I had hyperthyroidism. The dude that I was with jetted. He was gone. He left. So I was in a very, very dark spot, the darkest place I'd ever been in my life. And I started contemplating suicide. I sat in my bathroom for 3 days, and I thought about ways. I started looking up ways, Googling it. How can I make this look like an accident? How can I make it look like an accident to make it seem like I didn't do it myself to where my kid can get the insurance money? And then I thought to myself, do you hear how sick this sounds? Do you hear how bad, how diseased your mind is right now, Crystal? You're looking up ways to try to make killing yourself look like an accident so that your son can get the insurance money. What about your kid? Looking through those videos, I stumbled upon a child that actually lost her mother because she killed herself. And I thought to myself, I can't do that. I can't do it. I just can't. I can't do it. And so, like I said, my son has saved my life more times than I could count. I dug myself up, picked myself up, and cleaned myself off. And I said, okay, let's do this. Let's get going. And life was really tough from there. And I didn't think, and I still didn't think that it was meant for me. It wasn't meant for me to have children. It wasn't meant for me to be married. I tried to be happy, and things just weren't meant. It wasn't meant to happen. And I had even went to a tarot reader at the time, and she told me, well, you'll never get married. So, you won't have to worry about that. And if you do, it won't work out. And then sure enough, the doctors were telling me I would never have children anymore. So the dreams and the things that I had wanted in my life were now gone. And I didn't know what to do because those are the things that I wanted. I wanted a family, and that just wasn't going to happen for me. So I met Zachary. And Zachary, he worked at Buffalo Wild Wings, and I'm 9 years a senior. And I thought to myself, that will never happen. He is too young for me. And he's really cute. He could probably have any girl that he wants, I don't know why I'm even thinking like this, but I don't know what happened. Whenever I saw him, a seed had planted. And there was a light that had just glue. And I felt it. And I knew that it was the start of something. I didn't know what. Zachary and I started dating May 2016. And we went to Idaho. It's 17. We went to Idaho that summer. And I have family up there, so we went cross country. And we had the best trip. On the way back down, I had this dream that I had a baby. And my dreams about life or death they always mean something. They seem to anyways. And so I told Zachary, I said, I had a dream that I had a baby. It's really weird. I'm going to take a pregnancy test. Sure enough, I was pregnant. And I told him, I said, you don't have to worry about it because I've already been told that I won't have children again, So let's not get our hopes up or anything. Of course, he was, I think, 24 at the time. So we were eating chicken wings on the bed whenever I told him. So he's scared. He's shaking and I said, don't worry about it. It probably won't happen. It probably won't happen. And then a month went by, and then another month, and then another month. And then we're in the middle of Hurricane Harvey and everything. And I really thought I was going to lose this baby. But the day came to have the C-section, and I was brushing my teeth, and my water broke that day. And I said, let's go have this baby. And he's beautiful. His name is Sterling. He's going to be 4 in April, and he's autistic. And if it wasn't for me going through what I had been through in my past, those hurdles would have been a lot harder to jump over. Whenever I found out he was autistic, I don't know why 3 is my thing, but I spent another 3 days just crying and teary-eyed and worrying about it and beating myself up. What did I do wrong? How did this happen? What's his life going to be like? Will he get married? Will he graduate? Is he going to have children? All these things ran through my head. And I just cried and cried and cried about it. I cried about it because it's not that I didn't want to have a special needs child. I didn't want my kids to be special needs because of the criticism or the pain that he might endure in life. But he was, and he is. And I had to accept that. No matter how hard it was, I had to accept it. So I did. And again, I picked myself up and brushed myself off, and I started moving forward. And I said, okay, he has autism. What do we do? How do we do it? How do we get this done? So now he's in speech therapy. He started school last week. He's in pre-K. And he's his happiest child. And, we just take things one day at a time because that's what you have to do. If I look too far in the future, again, to this day, I'll start shedding tears because I feel like whenever we look in the future, we always seem to think of the worst sometimes, and that's not what I want to do. And whenever we think of the past, it's like we bring up all those negative, evil, nasty things that's happened to us, right? I tell people, try to live in today. Try to live in the present. It's called the present because it's a gift.
Right.
It's so, so, so beautiful. So then after we had Sterling, the doctor said, "What, do you want any more?" I said, "Well, hang on. The other doctor said I could never have any more. Well, you had this one. Do you want any more?" And I thought about it. We went back and forth. And I said, "You know what?" I said, "It's really up to you." And my husband said yes. And sure enough, we had Sawyer. And Sawyer, we don't think he's autistic. We just think he's bad. Sawyer's just bad. But he's a sweet baby, too. He's kind of like a Sour Patch Kid. But throughout everything, after Sawyer was born, I had wanted to go back to work. I worked at Chili's for 14 years. I waited and I bartended and I was great at my job. I loved it. And I had that little bit of time off after my C-section and I went back to work. Got to work for one day. The next day I was on my way there and they said, "Don't come in, we're shutting it down." COVID had happened. And now we had to go on unemployment, which I don't know if you've ever served tables, but you never claim 100% of your tips and they only give you 70% of what you were claiming. That wasn't going to work. I had to do something and I didn't know what I was going to do. I started 2 other businesses in the past that I'll never forget: Crystal's Creations and Gypsy Jewelry. And both of those businesses, they were nice for the time, but I didn't put as much love or as passion as I did into the cottage. When I started the cottage, I told my husband, I said, "I'm going to start a business." And he kind of looked at me like I was crazy. I said, "Okay." I said, "What kind of business?" I said, "Well, I started rolling sage sticks and everybody wants my sage." I said, they started asking for crystals. So I think I'm going to start a crystal business. And he says, "Okay," another one of my crazy ideas. And here we are 2 years later, and Lady Moon's Cottage will be 2 years old in May 16th. I put so much love and energy into that business, y'all. I told the very first live that we did, it was more of a, "Hey, this is what we have. Go to my website and check it out." I told everybody that night. I had my mom help me. My husband, his best man, his wife, my kid, everybody was there helping out. They had the lights. They were making like little foil things so the lights could shine right on me. It was so cute. And I told them, I said, "Get ready because we're going to have like 300 to 500 people. The orders are going to come in like crazy. I know it's going to happen. Just wait." That night we had 14 people on the live. I waited and waited and waited for an order to come in on my phone. I got one order that night. And she's now my business partner, Hope. But I got one order that night. And I said, "You know what? Tomorrow night, we're going to have 16 people." And my husband says, "You're still going for it?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, we're going for it." I said, "Look, if you reach for the stars, even if you fall short, you'll still be pretty high up there, I said, "So you gotta reach for as high as you can." I said, the reason why there were 14 people is maybe because I said there were going to be 300 to 500. Maybe if I didn't even say that, maybe nobody would have showed up, but they did. And I really didn't want it to be like the whole paparazzi style, but it kind of ended up being that way. And that's okay. I started really, really helping people. I got ordained. I did a few weddings. I've even done a funeral and a baptism. And it's been quite the ride. It feels like since 2 years ago, whenever I decided to do this, my whole life has changed. And even now, whenever I look back at old pictures, I don't even see the same person. I've actually lost 40 pounds, which is crazy because I don't even know how that happened in your spiritual journey. I had been fighting my weight my whole life, y'all. And I threw whenever I finally accepted it, I said, "You know what?" I said, "I'm throwing all my jeans away." I said, "I'm wearing skirts and stretchy pants from here on out. That is it. I'm done with this weight battle." And then I lost 40 pounds and now all those jeans are gone. But that's okay. That's okay. Your spiritual journey is something that you give yourself. It's a gift that you give yourself. And yours alone is so special. So remember that. Whatever it is you're going through, whatever it is that may have happened to you in the past, none of that defines you now. Those are building blocks to where you need to be. But those things don't define who you are. And I don't know if y'all guys know this, but today is actually Ostara. So I am Wiccan. And Ostara is a beautiful, beautiful celebration of life where we celebrate the bunny rabbits and the flowers blooming and the sun shining and everything is frosted out. And we are getting ready just to live life and to be free. And all of this wonderful just sunshine shining down on our face is just amazing. I do want to give you a little bit of an insight of how we see things and how I see things. I like to believe like the things that I see. I like to see the sun and the moon and the earth. I feel like all of those are part of our higher powers. I feel like all of us are connected, brothers and sisters, in this inner web that we can't even see, but we are all connected in some way or another. And I believe that each and every one of us have this divine energy inside of us, and that each and every one of us can bless this earth with something. And if you have a gift, and if you don't share it, then you deny yourself and everybody else that gift. So if you have a passion in your heart, and if you feel like you should have done it a long time ago, and even if you're thinking it's too late, I'm telling you it's not. You can do whatever it is that you set your mind to, and reach for the stars. Whatever it is that you do, reach for the stars. Reach as high as you can, because even if you fall short, you'll still be up there. And to be honest, I think the reason the cottage did so well is because I gave it so much love. And it's because I knew that it could. Love is the one force on earth that is greater than any other force on this earth. Love conquers everything. The law of attraction, love will bring you that. Y'all guys heard of the law of attraction, I'm guessing? So the law of attraction just states that if you really want something, it can be yours. You have to keep at it, keep wanting it. The first time I ever had played with this law of attraction, I read this book. It's called The Spirit, the Power. Now, if y'all have heard that, The Power of the Spirit. Y'all guys heard of that book now? Okay, yeah. It's by Rhonda Bryan. It's a beautiful book. She tells you kind of how to live life easily, how life isn't supposed to be hard. You're meant to have great things. You're meant for these things. If there's things inside of you that you're passionate about that you want to do, you're meant for those. And she'd give little tips and tricks of how to do this, how to get, the things in your life that you really would like. And I said, we'll start small. I said, I want a green balloon. I want a green balloon, but I'm going to make it specific. I want a little smiley face on it. But the thing is about your dream is that you can't give, no matter what it is, you can't give up on it. You have to keep at it. So that moment, that right whenever you think that it might not happen and you give up on it, it's like underneath the soil. You can't see anything up here, but underneath the soil, that little seed is blooming and it's going. And the minute you give up, it just goes back down. It was just about to bloom. I was at this for 2 months. I said, I'm going to get this balloon. I don't know where it's going to come from. I don't know who's going to give it to me, but I'm going to get this balloon. It's going to come. And sure enough, the day that it did, a little boy had a balloon on his wrist. And it was a couple of regulars that would come into Chili's quite often. And I was waiting on their table, and I said, there's a balloon. So we'll see if he leaves it. But there was a little face drawn on it. But sure enough, the parents had asked if we had any markers. And guess what they drew on the balloon? A face. And guess who left their balloon there? They gave it to me, actually. So I manifested my little balloon, but it was that seed being planted and blooming like that told me I could do anything. Anything was possible and everything was possible. So if y'all guys have a dream, if y'all guys want to do something, if y'all guys are passionate about something, just know that you can, no matter what it is. It's never too late. It's definitely not too early. You can do whatever you would like to do. Anything is possible. I've noticed along the way, since I've started this journey, I do spiritual guidance sessions and also tarot readings. Everybody has something, okay? Everybody has something. Everybody hurts in some way. Everybody's looking for something. Everybody holds on to something. There's nobody, I promise you this, nobody is perfect. Everybody has something. So whenever you look at somebody and you see them and you think, well, they have it all together, just know that they don't. Know that they don't. Everybody's broken in some way, and everybody hurts somehow, and everybody's looking to be healed. That's a thing. That's definitely a thing. And like I said, if you guys are passionate about something and if you want it, you can do it. You can do it. Well, many blessings to y'all. Thank y'all for listening to me. Is there any questions that y'all have? No?
No,
Okay.
but I have a comment.
Sure.
I have a special needs child,
Uh-huh.
and he's already 32 years old.
Okay.
And I want you to know, from one mother to another, God doesn't give these children just to anybody. It's very special people that he gives them to.
Thank you. Sometimes I think about that and I'm like, am I just going to have to tote you around for the rest of my life? That's okay, buddy. You'll be friends. That's
You'll
fine.
never be alone.
Yeah, this is
That's
true.
what my son tells me.
What
Never be alone.
does your son have autism also?
No, he has, he's MR.
Gotcha. Okay.
He's slow.
Gotcha.
But he's very intelligent.
Yeah,
He's very, very, very
I know. I'll
smart.
tell you that Sterling got himself dressed this morning, but he put the 2 legs in one hole, so it kind of looked like he had a skirt on. So he's getting there. He's trying, but it's just little simple stuff like that.
Yes, when he was younger, I felt so bad.
Mhm.
Because I thought I was and I knew I wasn't the only person. But when I saw a mom with twins, and they were both Down syndrome, and she was this little bitty, and the girls were like, and I saw that mom carry that daughter and put her on the wheelchair. I was like, my child is perfect. He's perfect. He can walk, he can talk.
Yeah.
He can learn. He learns a different way.
Yeah.
But he learns.
Yeah.
But, at the time, I was devastated because I didn't know there was anything wrong with him until he went to school.
And back then it was a little bit harder to get diagnosis too, I imagine. Yeah.
But after he graduated, he got a computer, he got stuff that he loved. Well, he's taken it to a different level. Like when I have problems, I'm like, Dee. And he's like, give me your phone. And I'm like, wow. Wow. I don't know, but he does.
That's so
That's
awesome.
all he does. So, my nephew has autism. He's an A&M.
Yeah.
Studying for an engineer.
Yeah.
So,
I'm hoping right now it's just like a box of chocolates because you don't know what you're gonna get yet. You know what I mean? So we're hoping that he'll start talking. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. And we use sign language at home, and they say, well, if he does a sign and a word with it, you can give it to him. So we'll say drink, and he goo, 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 and I said no drink, goo, goo, goo. I'm like, do you want food? And he's like, see, and I'm like, food. See, food, see. It's like he's trying to teach me his language. And I'm like, buddy, you got to learn how to talk my language, not the other way around.
That it's good.
Yeah. So we use a lot of sign language, and then there's little things here and there. He's has potential of talking, so we're really hoping that he does. But even if not, it's just one day at a time. It's one day at a time, So
what you can do for him is get him a personal like DVD player or whatever, and put some music to see what kind of music he likes. That'll teach him how to speak. My son had speech impediment, and he had his personal, and he would sing, and well, with that, he retrained his brain how to not stutter. It's amazing the things that you see transform, and they do it by themselves, but we don't know.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't stutter like you.
Yeah, a couple months ago, he was trying to put a shorts on his head. So we became somewhere. We're getting there.
Yeah.
Hey, thank y'all so much for letting me be here and allowing me to speak with y'all.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
What's next?
Circle up. Go up. Circle up. We got a circle.